We remain attached to Christ by life in His Spirit.
For those who walk by faith, they are on the right track.
The seed of Christ is alive.
Open your eyes so well. Don't kill your seeds. Don't destroy your seeds. Don't scatter them. Don't eat them.
Located in the ancient city of Kano, predominantly Muslims, the church has continued to thrive in the face of various challenges.
Every part of the world, the church is facing one challenge or the other. Here, what we face the Muslim antagonism, of course. We are blessed here with a very radical Islamic group. Islam here has jihad as its foundation. And anywhere you find the jihadist Islam, there is always this crisis thing, or this extremism. So this is what we have inherited here. And that is our own cross. We must carry it. So the challenge we have here is to how do we evangelize? How do we maintain the work of evangelization? How do we allow the work of the apostles, of the missionaries to continue to flourish?
Most Reverend Dr. John Namuzinyering, the Bishop of Kano, who has overseen the affairs of the diocese since his installation 10 years running, have taken giant strides to keep the Catholic faith growing.
As Bishop of God, the first thing is to work with my own community, with the Catholic community. They are my primary assignment. To work with them, let us work together to deepen our faith and move forward in whatever we are doing. And then, secondly, we need to relate with other Christians, especially in the area of ecumenism, because we need ourselves, we need to work together. Those common values, that Christian values, we promote them together. Of course, the Muslim community is more than 90% of the total population of the Diocese of Kano, and we have to engage the community through dialogue. So it's well, as it is with the dialogue, there are times you move forward quite fast. There are other times there are problems. So you are not easily you are not getting the kind of well, results that you get. But by and large, there have been good people from among our community, from the Christian community in general, as well as from Muslims, people who are ready to work together. You know, the Sharia crisis. So one of our churches was burned down, and the people had to leave the place. Up to now, they have not been able to return. And So we had hoped that the years 2009, 2010 were quite peaceful. Then 2011 came. We'll have the crises that were associated with the presidential election. Parishes like St. Mary's Badawa were burned down. St. Mary's Raham the church structure there was burned down. We have the Father's house at Naibawa was burned down. And some of our churches in Jigawa State, I think, were also burned down. I mean, Hadija, church there was, and Father's house were burned down. So these were great challenges for us. So it's been quite a big challenge when you have to be a leader, and then at the same time you have your own people, the people you are leading, you see them suffer, and there is very little you can do. Challenge, but God is there for us, helping us.
A journey to the diocese opened up a clear view on the plight of Christians in Kano, with the prevailing Boko Haram insurgency, herdsmen attacks, amongst other persecutions. In the midst of these challenges, the clergy and lay faithful have remained steadfast in the worship of God in deepened faith.
Being a priest in the north, and particularly in Kano, it's not actually easy, though I have just been ordained 8 years ago. By July, I will be 8 years as a priest. These 8 years have been very, very challenging, of course, as you know, with all the troubles that we are passing through here in Kano and then in the north generally, with the Boko Haram issue, which came up around 2011, 2012, at least here in Kano. And then with also the challenges of our brothers who are from the other faith, the Islamic challenges, and other issues that we just have to cope with.
The challenges within could be a kind of conflicts of ideas, the infiltration of Pentecostalism into the church. These are some of the things that, to some extent, are becoming a kind of a little bit worrisome, so that you discover that Catholics are gradually drifting away from the real traditional way of worshiping, because of our relationship or because of our neighbors, because of Pentecostalism and some others. So these are some of the few challenges that we are facing, which of course it is to help us grow. Then the other challenges we can talk about is external. And this external has to do with interreligious dialogue. It has to do with insecurity. It has to do with a kind of some persecutions that some Catholics are passing through, both within, both as individual and as group.
We must survive, despite the challenges, despite this persecution. Once we have that in mind, surely we will move forward. So we celebrate this faith, the faith that was planted 100 years ago and has grown to have thousands of followers. Despite, it's like a tree planted in an arid land, and yet it's still producing fruit. We are proud of our faith in Kano.
The church in the northern part of Nigeria, especially Kano here, which is predominantly Islamic, is facing lots and lots of challenges. Number one, you have that of discrimination against indigenous Christians, indigenes who are Christians. You have segregation in times of job opportunities. Government policies are tailored towards, the promotion of Islam, being that Islam is a predominant religion here. But even in the midst of all this, the church have existed, and our concern has been to give pastoral care to our people in times of formation of mind, and that is education through our schools, to give medical care in times of promotion of hygiene, personal hygiene and environmental hygiene, to better the lots of the lives of our people here, and above all, the spiritual pastoral care, which is in times of the care for the spirit and the soul of our people. The 21st century in which we are, generally, I am speaking on a global level now, the clarion cry for the 21st century is that of peace, development, and justice.
The church in Kano is an interesting one. The parishioners lively, the parishioners active, despite the challenges, insecurity and all that. The parishioners are still doing their best. The faith is very much alive here, perhaps because of the challenges of the insecurity and all that. That has also made the Christian fold to be so united. And then the faith is growing every day because the morning masses, people still come. Sunday masses, like here we have 3 masses, and almost 2 of the masses are full. The third mass not that full, but then people are always participating and always willing. Yes, it is true that all churches have their challenges, and Kano as a state is a predominantly Muslim state. And as a Muslim state, the state always do what it could to promote the Muslim religion while sometimes stifling the other religions. But then,
one of them is security. The second one is persecution. They don't allow you to practice your religion in freedom. You must be very careful when coming to church activities. If you watch at the gate, you saw some policemen. We had to put those ones there so that at least people will have confidence to come into church programs.
Persecution per se is not making us be stronger, because I can remember during that 2012, 2013, most of us did not go home. We took it upon ourselves to always come to church, to always pray. And we have these group prayers that we'll be holding. And the prayer in short, has reawakened our sense of being a Catholic, that we really need it. This is not the first time that Catholics will be persecuted. It was done in the past, in the time of old. And we thank God that that spirit of surviving is still in us.
Despite the challenges of the Fulani herdsmen, the Boko Haram attack between us, our fathers keep on encouraging us that before they were born, the gospel has been in existence. That no uncircumcised Philistine that will defy the army of the living God. So our father they continue giving us that word of encouragement that we should be steadfast.
Despite all these trials and temptation, we are still moving forward. We are waxing stronger and stronger. My Bible told me that even though you die because of God, you have nothing to regret. So therefore, we at least, despite the attacks that we are having from Boko Haram and the other our brother Muslims, we are still moving forward.
Working on a medical facility. Hopefully it will soon begin to operate. And then, of course, we have a secondary school program. I mean, in one of our villages, we call it Yahaya Dutse Secondary School. So we already have the junior section. So we are working on the senior section now. So those are part of the activities. But there are other activities in parishes. Parishes are building halls, they are building, upgrading their schools and so on. And of course, there are churches and so on. They are working on that.
Every member of the diocese is optimistic and actively involved in the promotion of the faith in the diocese, and the children who are the future of the church are not left out.
You are welcome in the name of the Lord. You are welcome in the name of the Lord. I can see in you the glory of the Lord. You are welcome in the name of the Lord. To serve Him.
Every day I come here, I will feel happy because I'm coming to serve the God that created me. I don't care of all this Boko Haram, all this news. God can also take your life from you. So don't be afraid. If they come and take your life, they say, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Fear Him rather, who can destroy both body and soul. So I'm not afraid.
We trust in God, and we always hope that Jesus and our Lord is going to help us He's going to save us from the attacks of Boko Haram if we keep having faith in God.
Trials and temptations might come anytime, anywhere, in any circumstance. But my advice to my fellow believers is that we should stand our ground, because Jesus Christ says that whosoever believes in Him have a great place in His kingdom. We should stand our ground and live in the faith, and we should not allow anything to pull us down. That on the last day, God will give us a place in His kingdom.
Believers should continue going to church no matter how the stress of the Boko Haram in this Kano, that they should continue, that God will also help them and protect them from them. Because God said that if we should not fear those who kill the body, but rather fear those who can kill both soul and body. So we should always stand firm and always go to church.
My experience as being a Christian is awesome, and my advice to other Christians is that we should stand by our faith, that we should not lose faith in God, because despair is not good. And when we despair, that means we have lost hope in God. And when we lose hope, that means you believe that God cannot do anything in your life again.
I'm praying for the Bishop, Pope, and the Reverend Father, the priest. I'm also praying for the Altar Servers Association, so that we will be going higher.
Against the assumption that the North is totally Islamic is the reality that Christianity, especially the Catholic faith, thrives there, with the full commitment of the clergy and the lay faithful.
Actually easy, but being as it may, we are pushing and things are going well.
To the glory of God, with all this, you still have masses being celebrated in a church. You still have people in rain, be it under rain or sunshine, running to go for mass, to go for Stations of the Cross, to say their rosary. Of course, it's so wonderful, a faith that I strongly believe that nothing on earth will really take it away from the people.
How can we survive that direction? So that's the situation here. But despite that, we still reach out, because that is our work, that is our call. No matter how painful it is, we must answer it.
They trust God, they are humble, and they are thankful for whatsoever experience. And against the background of the fact of the persecution and discrimination we suffer, it has made us to be more united.
Despite all said and done, that has not deterred the church from moving on. God is still working through his people, and the church is still growing from strength to strength. Every year we have baptisms, like here in this parish. Every 2 weeks we have infant baptism, and there's no week we don't have someone to baptize. So it is a sign that the church is growing, and by God's grace we shall get there.
I would say in spite of everything, the church here is doing very well. On a Sunday, we record close to 5,000 to 8,000 people coming for 3 masses in this cathedral.
All our masses, all our activities are going on smoothly. We are not even feeling it, because we know that if there's no challenge, you will not wake up to responsibility as a Christian, because of being a Catholic.
In my parish, in fact, we are trying, we have done a lot in our parish. If we reach our parish secretary, we have built a grotto. We have been helping even the hall that our parish built recently.
I'm coming to serve my God. I'm coming to worship him. If I die, if I go to heaven, I get my reward there. That's all.
It's on record that Catholicism in Kano State will be 100 years in December 15, 2018. The Centenary celebration is planned to hold at that period.
This year is centenary of the arrival of the missionary who organized the first Catholics here in Kano. Now that missionary was Wola, Mosano Wola. He arrived in Kano on the 15th of December 1918. So 15th of December this year will be 100 years. And so we want to mark it. And therefore, we are preparing towards that. We have a couple of projects that we want to make part of the centenary. We have built our secretariat, so it will be commissioned. And then secondly, we are also working on a synod. On a synod. That is the first diocesan synod. We have never had a synod. So we hope that either towards the end of the year or early next year, we should be able to celebrate the diocesan synod. And during the synod, we will kind of have a program for 10 years. Usually, synods, it takes about 10 years to do a synod. Well, I mean, between synods, it's almost a decade to 10 years. So we hope at this synod we'll be able to come together. We are working on it. We've reached advanced stage now. We will be able to come together, and then we will have a program, a plan for development of the diocese in the next 10 years. And then we talk of development in terms of, we talk in terms of deepening our faith.
The Catholic faithful in Kano Diocese also engage in social activities.
We pray to God, and God has been answering our prayers. The atmosphere is very okay for us. For like since 3 years ago, there is no bomb issue, there is no riot. We are in peace with our brothers Muslim, and up to now, there is no crisis in Kano State and within around of Kano Diocese. So we thank God that God is answering our prayers for peace.